So starting. Alright, well, in the spirit of musical layers and kind of taking a break from the regular musical layers, a video in the tradition of the Audition versus Reaper video style or variety. So here we are. And first off, with the both DAWs open right here, you can kind of tell what the differences are, perhaps a little bit. And so let's get started. I think I'll start with Audition, so we'll go ahead and make that full screen. Now, this is a song that off of my first album, and it's all vocal, and it was recorded and mixed in Audition, so let's take a listen to it really quick. I'll leave it in your hands, leave it in your hands, even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for me, I'll leave it all, Lord, in your hands. In your hands, in your hands. So as you can tell, I like to mix things very hot back in the day. Level meters are all the way up. In your hands, I leave all my worries in your hands. And all the tracks are also recorded quite warm. Let's take this section. In your hands, in your parts really don't sound as good by themselves. So, maybe some minor pitch correction might help that, but altogether, leave all my burdens in your hands. I'll leave it in your hands. Now, what I did to get the timing is there's actually a track here. Leave it in your hands, even when I just don't understand. Okay, but I prefer the sound of it a cappella. So what we're really looking to look at is not whether I like a cappella or not, but the differences in mixing between these two DAWs. So let me pull this back out over here. And now let's come into Reaper. Let's go ahead and close that. We don't need that. Okay, same session. And let's listen to it. I'll leave it in your hands, leave it in your hands. Now, you can really hear the distortion in here. Now, one thing I haven't done, this is without, there's no effects on this because I just literally pulled these in here today to do this. So if we go back out and look at the two of them, we can see here I have the tracks. There's a nice color for each track, and I've also done them sort of in reverse order. There really are only 4 parts, but what I've done here is a mixing technique where I've sort of doubled the parts and have them all, and then they're all panned, and these of course are not panned. And but as far as the track colors, we can do that. We can come over here and we can say, let's see, the lead is which one? This one. Okay, we can go ahead and say we want to change the track color, and we can come over here and set tracks to custom color, and we can, it's too bad there isn't a color picker here. We'll just pick one that's sort of like what's here, and we'll click OK. And what it mostly changes, as you can see here, is a waveform and not the entire. We'll just call it the grid behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I will see the base. So I guess I went for purple. So let's do purple. Although not such an annoyingly bright purple. Let's go dark purple. There we go. Okay. It's looking better and better by the minute, isn't it? And so tenor. We have a tenor part. Tenor. What color was baritone? Baritone was blue. Let's go ahead and do that one. This is in no particular order. Blue. Yeah, that's good. We'll go with that. Yeah, that's annoyingly bright. Now, why it's popping up over top of Audition, I have no idea. I think it's used to being in full screen, so it's kind of... Okay. No, not like that. Well, maybe move this one over. There we go. And we'll pick a blue more like that. There we go. Now that isn't so startling and... Well, okay. And then for this one, we'll go with green. So we have our green. Well, that's annoyingly bright. Let's go with a darker green. Darker still, my son. Okay. And then, let's see. This is a shade of brown, but I think because this is Reaper, I'll just leave it as a default gray. So right away we can see the differences. And what I want to do is rework this so it's not so loud, for one thing. So if we come back over to Audition, we'll have to go to Save As. Save As. And then we'll call it 02. And we'll say OK. So now we have, okay, 02 session. And now I believe I can still come back and open up the 01 session. Yes, I can. Okay. So same files, different session, and then we have them right here inside of Reaper. Inside of Reaper, all I would need to do is come over here and click Save New Version of Project, and there it's done. So now we have number 3. Okay, now let's start the process of making this quieter. So we'll switch over. So, and we'll switch over here to 2 because I don't want to change 1. And the first thing we will see is that everything is loud. Okay. So what I'm going to do is reset everything to 0. Should be very easy. Our mixer is in a separate window. Okay, where am I? It's been a while since I've used this, so. Okay, yes, double click resets the tracks to 0, 0, 0. And the bus tracks I will also reset to 0. Those are for the effects. And I'll reset the master fader to 0. Okay. And then we'll come back over here. And we'll start adjusting the volumes. Leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Actually, what I'm going to do is I want to just have one of each part. So let's see, bass is the same for, so I'm going to get rid of the extension. I'll talk a little bit about that effect later. I think I can I delete the track just like that? It's been a while since I've done this. track. Delete selected track. Okay. Okay. And same thing. And so we can see that we can do Control Alt Backspace. Okay. And I want to go ahead and delete the bus tracks really quick. And Control Alt Backspace. I can't undo it. Existing routing will be permanently lost. Do you wish to continue? Yes, I do. Because I want to ruin my whole setup here. Not to worry, we have an original version. Okay. Now, we'll come here and we'll see. They should all be sending to the master track now. Master. Yes, they are all sending to the master track. Okay, good. Now, let's go ahead and turn off the effects on the master track. I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. I just... Okay, it is distorting. So let's start first level of mixing, which is volume. So I'm going to go ahead. I have the bass at -6 with the tenor, -3 baritone. These are just some random numbers. Oh, I do have the baritone extension here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I don't need this one. There we go. There, you see? It's not much nicer on the ears. I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I will leave it all, Lord, in your hands. In your hands. In your hands. I leave all my worries in your hands. In your hands. Okay, so you can see that to pan right or left, you type in R15 or L15, and then you have your pan adjustments here. So very good. Now I'm just going to zoom back out, and that is this shortcut, which is the it's right underneath the backspace key on Windows. I've forgotten the name of it. So I'm still getting some high volumes. So let's see, because I did record everything quite hot. So now we're gonna apply some compressors. Actually, no. Let's start with EQ, because that's where you want to start. Okay, so come over here, and I'm gonna start with. No, let's start with the lead part, because that's where we should start. The melody is most important. And we'll choose. Now, in the past, I would have used the graphic equalizer, but at this point, which looks like this, and then you would do something like this. I would hit the preset, and I would say lead, presence, and clarity. So now we could do that, and that would say if we were to solo it. Leave it in your hands, even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for me, I leave it all, Lord. Okay, so that's one way to do it. But after switching to Reaper for a while, I've become quite fond of the Parametric Equalizer. Okay, so they're just two different ways of EQing. This is graphic, you know, you can create notches and stuff. I could do... Oh, let me turn off the parametric. I could make it sound weird.
In your hands,
Sort of make it feed.
your hands. I leave all my worries in your hands.
Okay, we don't need to do that. It's just an example of how you can destroy your sound completely. So over here, this is called this is sort of like your effects rack. And in fact, it is called the effects rack. And you can put multiple effects. In this case, we have the equalizer, parametric. So what I'm going to do is
In your hand.
I am going to trim off some of the low end. Not quite that much. Let's see. Let's reset it. Okay. What type of curve is this? It's an S curve. So you can change the type of curve it does. Okay.
Hands in your hand.
Okay. Why is it doing this? Ooh. It looks like I did not get rid of that. Okay. All right. Let's do this again.
I leave all my burdens in your
it should be sort of steep.
hands. I leave it in
So
your
I'm going to guess right about 100
hands.
hertz.
Leave it in your hands.
So you can hear it starts to get more thin.
Even when I just don't understand, though I may not see
Okay.
the plan
We'll come
you
up here,
have for me.
Make that a little bit steeper.
I leave it all, Lord,
Now,
in your hands.
what I'm doing is lowering the range here, and you can see it sounds muffled. That's not what we want. We could trim it off here, or we could simply say that that we just want to leave it there because
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands.
because while you might not be able to hear all those
Just
frequencies, they do matter to the sonic content.
understand.
But
Though I may not see the plan.
But because this is a melody part, I don't really want so much of that low frequency, so that's what we're going to do for that. Now, let us add the tenor part. Same thing. We're going to bring in our EQ.
I'll leave it in your hands.
Okay.
Understand, though I may not see the plan, I will leave it all, Lord, in your hands. In your hands, in your hands.
I'm going to trim this at around 100.
Leave all my worries in your hands.
That sounds too much like radio, so I'm going to trim it at about 100 hertz.
In your hands, I'll leave all my burdens in your hands.
We're just going to roll the highs off a tiny bit because I want more presence in the lead vocal.
Just don't understand, though I may.
Okay, now baritone is going to be the tricky one because it's one of those sort of in-between parts and you don't quite know where to. But so what I'm probably going to do is trim off both ends. So let's hear how low baritone goes first. Uh-oh, that's not good. And there we're stopped. So, gotta open it again. Yeah, continue. Just don't crash again. Okay. So because I didn't save any of those changes, like I should have been doing, I'm gonna have to do this all over again now. So we'll come back to that. Let's go over to Reaper and hopefully not crash it. And we'll just see what we can get down here. Okay, so same idea. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start trimming. So this one is a lead track, so let me go ahead and name that lead. And I'm going to call this is appropriately named Tenor. As you can see, when I drag the tracks in, it appropriately named them after the names of the files. And so this is bass. We don't really care that it's merged, which means it was a couple clips that were put together. That's something Audition does. And in Reaper, it's called glued. So, okay, baritone. Okay, now they're all in different places, so let's see. Okay, I'll answer that later. So we got this thing coming up. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing that I did. Here we come over here to effects. There's no separate effects rack. It's right there. This is part of what I've come to like about it. So I'm going to filter them down to say Cockos, which is the company that makes Reaper. And then, okay, we're on baritone. So I'm going to do what I was going to do there. I'm going to trim off like this. And the nice thing about Reaper is you have the scope, so you can see where your frequencies actually are. Understand, though I may not see the plan, I will leave it all. Okay, so for now I'm going to leave it like that. In your hand. Okay, so, and I'm just skipping straight to EQ instead of doing the volume. We can see what the volume will do in a minute. Why don't we go ahead and put the lead on top? See, very easily we can drag. I'm just going to do them in a top down. Okay, now tenor. Actually, let's do the melody really quick. Okay, and another thing you can do is go like this. You copy your effect. I'm over here, so you can tell I've been using Reaper a lot more in recent times, so I'm a little bit faster with it at this point. Okay, so yeah, so we have all the effects there. Okay, let's open up and we will say that I want to trim off everything below, where did we choose? I think it was 80 hertz. Let's see. Just type that, okay. Let's solo it so we can hear what it's doing, because that's really how you should do it. I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand, though I may not see the plan you have for me, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands. Okay, that's too much. In your hands, in your hands, I leave all my worries in your hands, in your hands, in your hands. I leave all my burdens in your hands. I leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands, even when I don't understand. Okay, So now let's go over and hit the tenor part. And we'll see what we got here. So once again, we're going to trim those down. I'm going to do a gentle roll off on the higher frequencies.
Understand, though I may not see the plan, I'll leave it all, Lord, in your hands, in your hands, in your hands. I leave all my worries in your hands, in your hands, in your hands. I leave all my burdens in your hands. I leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands, even when I just...
Okay, that's a little more gentle sound already. And I think the bass part is the one part I have not done, and this may sound very strange because I'm about to play the bass part by itself. So we're just gonna
understand.
So there's some clarity in there, but
I may not see the plan. I leave it all.
now I don't know if I'm really getting us below 50 hertz here, so let's trim it there anyway.
Your hands, in your hands, I'll leave all my worries in your hands.
Ooh, wow. Track's a little distorted in there.
Your hands.
You guys hear it in context?
Your hands. I leave all my burdens in your hands. I leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands, even when I just don't understand.
Alright, so that's the beginning levels of mixing in Audition versus Reaper. And I'm going to probably do another one just to, because I have to redo what I did in Audition since it crashed. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.